What's going on, guys? So today is number 3 of 5 here at ILEETA 2026, and we are in the Grand Hall of Union Station, and we are going to be doing 9 interviews. I couldn't really find any other place that I liked more than this area. As you can see, we've got beautiful marble pillars, we've got practicals everywhere, we've got lights all over the place. It looks beautiful. In a space like this, it's very dark, and so you have to bring up the ambience in order to make it make sense, in order to make it work. Even last year we had to go 12,800 on the ISO, and that was, it wasn't bad, it looked good, but there was some grain in there and it did mess with your colors. It always does, but this year we brought our 1200X. It's shooting behind us, kind of filling some space, some ambience, and also giving some light on the floor here. So this is what our A camera looks like. This is what our B camera looks like. Just lots of interest, lots of pops of different color. Lights, more lights, better. That's just the secret. More lights equals better. All right, so we're just gonna take a few minutes. We got a break here in between interviews. We're gonna kind of cover what we did on the set. So we're using the 500, the Forza 500 for our key light. We've got our small rig parabolic 120 softbox as our key source here. We're using the Nanlite Pavo tube. It's a 4-foot tube here for our hair/edge light. These are easy to use because it's nice and soft. We don't have to add a softbox to it, so makes for really easy back and edge, because what happens is it gives us, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's nice because you get all the way from shoulder to shoulder. It goes all the way across the person, but there are times where you get someone like me who's got a high forehead, like a 6 head, and then this kind of reaches too far, and so it kind of comes over too far on the forehead sometimes, so you either need to reposition it or back it off of people. We had to do that with our first interview guide this morning. So a couple things to go back to on some of the other videos I talked about. For instance, the 3 things that make up a cinematic interview that isn't lighting. This is a perfect example of that. What makes this space, what makes the look of this interview what it is because of this entire area. You have none of this. Here's what I'm talking about when I say the location helps you. What we have is we have dark walls here. We've got pillars that are brown, so they pop off the background. You've got green tones over here with gold pop accents as well on the staircases. You've got even texture on the wall, on the wallpaper here too. You've got practicals, and when I say practicals, I mean these things. This location is giving us all of this here. We've got these all over the wall. These 2 things we added, these were over way off in the back corner there. So what we did, because this kind of area, other than that practical, is a little dark, and I wanted to brighten it up a little bit. I wanted to add even more light. So I brought the lamps over here, I placed this here, and this helped give us a little bit of pop of color in this little area that I felt was darker. And then we did the same thing on this side too. That lamp wasn't there, that table wasn't there, so we added that. That's the E to E ratio that I'm talking about. Is what's the effort to enhancement ratio? It took me 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, to put that lamp and that lamp there and make sure the tables were there. And you can see in the frame that we have how it affected the A camera, how it affected the B camera. The enhancement to effort ratio is really good on that, because it took me 2 seconds to do it, and I think it added a huge increase to the image. All of these things matter. That up there, you see, like there's, I don't even know what you would call it, if it's wainscoting or what, but you've got trim, texture on the walls everywhere. You've got practicals way back in the background here. However, this kind of fell into a little bit of darkness, even though we have lights up here. So what we did is, you can see how this light is hitting the wall here. That's coming from our 500 with a projector. That is got a gobo on it, so it's kind of raking light off this side. The other thing that we've got, because this is a darker space, even though we have a lot of light as far as practicals go, we're using the 1200 over here as our fill. It's not necessarily our sun, but we've got it up here at probably 50% at this point. I feel like, I don't even know now, I can't even see it. But basically what this is doing is this is throwing light onto the background. You can see that it's backlighting the staircase. You can see how it's actually hitting even a little bit of the roof. So we're getting a lot of bounce, especially since this floor here is very, the tile is very reflective. So that's helping throw light on the floor. It's throwing light on the ceiling. So we're getting a lot of compression in terms of bouncing and reflecting. So that's lifting the ambience in this room so we don't have to bring it up in post, and it'll keep us from getting noise. And as you can see on our on the log and on our exposure meter, the exposure meter is going to read like a 0.7 on the B camera and a 0.3 on the A camera. Most people would think that when you're filming a log, that's way underexposed. But actually, when you have enough ambience, when you have enough light, you've got practical lights, you've got the light coming in from those doors outside there. When you've got all of those things combined and you look at the LUTed image on the monitor, it doesn't always have to be a +1 or a +2. What you see on the monitor is really what matters. If you can bring light to the dark places and you've got enough light hitting your sensor, that's all you really need. And sometimes you can have a really good image even if you're at 0, on the meter. This is Katie. She is essentially the producer for the ILEETA conference production that we are covering.
So I'm thinking about all of the highlights that we're gonna need. I'm looking at the conference schedule. I'm looking at the classes that are gonna offer movement and density, interesting things to show diversity among the classes that are offered here at ILEETA. I'm thinking about our time, how much time we need to get all of this stuff, but also while adding in a buffer day. Definitely don't have a script, not in this environment. I have a list of questions with options depending on who I'm talking to. Am I talking to a trainer? Am I talking to a sponsor? I started with bullet points on topics. I know I need to discuss this. I know that we're trying to talk about ILEETA's past, present, and future this year. That's the focus this year. Depending on who I'm talking to, I adjust that stuff, but I'm definitely not sticking to any kind of script. It gives you robotic answers. I think that you end up putting words in people's mouth. I think that you don't get genuine answers based on their experiences. I think it stresses people out. They get tense, whereas you have a relationship with them and you can be a little silly. Everyone starts to relax a little bit. So yeah, no script. Tonight we have the Silencer Shop cigar party, so that's gonna be fun. Tomorrow we're going off-site for some even more exciting stuff. We're gonna get a live fire class. We're gonna get a pit class, so cop cars doing pit maneuvers. And then we come back for another social evening of a coin and patch exchange. Lots of people, lots of energy. I'm excited.
Another thing is when you're looking at the frame, take 2 seconds, look at the frame and see where am I missing interest? Is there a section, is there a pocket or a corner in the frame that is a little bit too dark? For me, I noticed that it was over here in this area. So we threw in a tube light here. We ran out of stands because we didn't bring as many. So I threw the tube light here, put it on my little crate, gap taped it to it so I could angle it right. But that's just throwing a little bit of light past this, this pillar here. And you can see it in the A-frame. It's just enough to kind of throw a little bit of light that way. Maybe it's a door, maybe it's a room that's got light in it that's coming in there, we don't know. But it breaks up that big pocket of darkness in the corner, so that helps add a little bit of interest. So, do you have to do all of these things? No. There's a lot of things I could have not done and still came away with a really good looking image. But this is what happens when you combined a good location, a little bit of set decoration, where you see where you can maneuver things that are already existing and just throw it in the background, in your frame, move furniture the way that would help enhance the image. When you combine location, when you combine your lighting, when you combine your practicals and using the location, the tools that you have available to you, when you have all of those things coming together for one image, that's how you achieve a really, really good looking image. It's pretty much rinse and repeat. If you apply that on every single frame that you have, you're gonna end up with a really good looking image, almost every single time. Again, the biggest factor, in my opinion, when it comes to a good looking frame or an interview is gonna be the location. We could have done the same exact technique. So I could have added practicals, I could have added all of the lighting, but if this room had no pillars, if this room had no texture, if this room was completely white, if it was just sterile, it would not look anywhere near as nice. So a location, again, this is why I say location matters so much, because it is one of those things that you can't, it does things for you you cannot recreate yourself, especially with the resources and time available and budget.
One of the things I want to talk about when it comes to white balance, one of the things you'll notice is that the walls are a little bit more blue. You've got different pops of blue hues on the walls. And that is because we are using the color temperature on our cameras and lighting to mix to create this kind of teal and orange vibe. So what we have going on is we're working 3600 Kelvin on both cameras A and B, and that is going to bring the temperature down. It's going to cool everything in the room, so that's going to balance our warms and our practicals. All the lights are going to seem a little bit more white. So while our cameras are at 3600 Kelvin, I'm actually at 3400 Kelvin on my key light here, and that's to give us just a little bit of extra pop of warmth on our skin tones, so that way it helps us separate even more from the blue versus the warm. And so that gives you this nice pop of blue in the background, and then you've got my skin tones, which is a little bit warmer, and then of course, which is matching a little bit of the warmer tones that you see in the background, whether it's the practicals or whether it's the pillars back here as well. So that's also how you can achieve color contrast between temperatures of your lights and the temperature of your camera. And that will help you create that color contrast, whether you're looking for a blue, a teal, orange, or maybe you want to warm the space and then you want to have that contrast with a warmer background versus a cooler light. So if you want your skin tones or your face to be more cooler versus the background being a little bit warmer, you can create that contrast as well. So learning how to play around with temperature and color and all that kind of stuff can help you really decide on what you want to do in any environment, any situation, and just kind of make the decision on the fly and make it work for your set.
The intentionality that they have done to make sure there are these networking and social events. I mean, we've got something every night. There was a time we kind of did this, believe it or not, in ILEETA's history. We used to have a donut eating contest, but it was just one night. There's never been the intentionality that we see now, that making sure that people get to set aside the rigor of being in class all day to just unwind, connect with people. That's huge to who we are.
ILEETA night 4.
Hospitality night, let's go.
All the social hours have been fantastic. There's been something every night. As soon as class is over, you got a couple hours to go grab some dinner, come downstairs and meet up with everybody.
You meet people from all over the world, Norway, Australia, England, that I've met here and maintained those relationships and those friendships.
And I think we probably had 300 people at Cornhole last night. That's almost half the conference. Getting together, hanging out, spending time, talking.
Just the food, the relationships being built, the drinks, the cornhole.
Whether you like cornhole or not, whether you like a little brown water or not, Class A, top-notch training gods come here to learn from one another, to share, to give of themselves. The authors are here to sign and talk about their works.
We've made friends for life from here. We have the ability to pick up the phone or an email and get answers to questions that we never thought we'd need to ask.
We are seriously here for you guys. We want to outfit you. We want to take care.
It really is just a lot of good people mingling together, sharing ideas.